Good evening, viewers. It's another great Wednesday evening right here on Hope Channel. My name is Evie and you're welcome to Real Talk, where we discuss real life stories in the realest way possible. Today we have a story sent to us through our email address and WhatsApp contact that you can see on your screen. And again, I have with me three amazing guests that will be helping me address this week's story. It's a very intriguing story, a story I am sure you can relate to, a story I am sure you have a lot of opinion on. Let me introduce you to my guest. The very first person I have here is Richard Opoku-Mensah.
Hi, Evie.
Hi, Richard.
Hi.
How are you?
Very well. How about you?
Great. How has your week been? You can?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the show once
Thank
again.
you.
Adobia.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
How is everything?
I'm blessed.
We thank God. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And finally, Samuel. Hi, Samuel. How is everything?
Hi, everything is okay.
Okay. Are you sure everything is fine? So, Richard, Adobia, and Samuel were with me last week when we discussed the story on surrogacy. Yeah. I'm so happy to have you guys back here.
Sure, I'm happy to be
today
back
will be
here.
another wonderful discussion.
Sure, definitely.
And I hope, Richard, you are a less controversial person today.
I'm not controversial.
Okay.
I've never been in my life.
All right. Okay, so before we take a look at our story, let's go for a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll go right into our story. Welcome back. It's Real Talk right here on Hope Channel every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So before we went on the commercial break, I introduced you to my amazing guests, Richard, Adobia, and Samuel, who'll be helping us discuss a very interesting, a very soul-touching story. Let's take a look at the story.
I am a nurse and I have dated my guy for 5 years. Within these 5 years, he has paid all my academic bills. Thankfully, I'm now a degree nurse. I met him when I was 25 years and now I'm 30 years. We are not legally married or even traditionally married. All he has done is knock him. I have pleaded with him to at least engage me. My biggest problem in my relationship is my man. He is a very violent man. He beats me when he thinks I have upset him. He beats me when I complain about his ways. The thing is, whenever he beats me, he apologizes and I forgive him. But he does it over and over again. I want to leave him, but I feel sorry for him and I feel indebted to him. I know he sometimes acts this way because he hasn't had a stable job for years now. What I earn as a nurse is what we usually live on. I know deep down in him, he loves me because sometimes he even cries about how he loves me. What should I do? Do I leave him or do I help make him a better man because he needs help and he is the father of my child?
Okay. Wow. Amazing. I mean, a story that I don't even know where to start from. But then we'll start anyway. Your general view on the overall story. Samuel, I'll start with you. What is your general?
So I don't wish both parties to be in this situation, but definitely Belinda should never be in such a situation that she's going to go through all this thing because she wants everything to work, and that she felt indebted to Eric for all that he's done for her. So I think the person suffering much in this scenario is Belinda. I don't wish any lady to go through that situation.
Adobia, Belinda, Eric, interesting story. Overview. What do you think?
I think that it's actually a lesson to learn out of the story, and most especially why Belinda should be living with a man that she has not been married to. Most of all, having a child for him. It's a lesson that all young ladies should actually learn from.
Right.
To actually flee from men like that.
Hi.
Hi. Please tell me your overall concern, your overall view on this topic.
There are two parties here, and I think both of them need help.
Definitely.
Adobia may not, well, from obviously.
We haven't even started.
No, I mean, I like her predisposition. She's a lady. Definitely she'll go in for the lady, but the guy too needs help.
Wow.
There are sadists who enjoy people suffering, so they would enjoy beating people. But Eric has that remorse after any event. We may have to find out what may be the issue, but he also needs help, and I think Adobia loves Eric. Did I say Adobia? Belinda. Sorry. Belinda loves Eric,
do love Eric.
and I believe Eric too does same.
Okay.
So if you are trying to help them both, we should look at how we can get them continuing this relationship and not look one-sided. My take, yeah.
Yeah, your take. Okay, so abuse. Abuse in relationships. I mean, it is happening. People go through it on a daily basis. Some people have even gotten used to the idea that a man is supposed to beat them when they wrong them in a way. So abuse in relationships. I'm still on you, Opoku.
There are different. The country basically frowns on it. No society will give a tick for domestic abuse or any form of it, and I don't want to put myself in that corner to encourage it. But let's find out what causes it.
What causes it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Adobia, abuse in relationships. You agree they're happening?
Yes, they are. They are. As you know, there are different types of abuse. I mean, it could be physical, mental,
Yeah, mental.
you know,
Emotional.
and so on. And I won't pick one and leave the other because they are all under one thing. Because I wouldn't want to go through something like a physical abuse or an emotional abuse
even a
whatsoever.
mental one, yeah.
Exactly. So it's something that we should. I'm sure we are actually frowning against it, as
Yeah.
he mentioned. So it's not something that we should encourage at all.
At all. So Samuel, abuse, relationships.
Yeah, abuse. As shocking as it may sound, it's happening.
Definitely.
It's really, really happening. We can't play any joke about it. It's really, really happening. And I think as a young man growing up, picking this story, I don't think I have to go through I shouldn't necessarily do what Eric is doing, and it's really, really bad. But it's really happening. It's really, really happening. Yeah.
So like Adobia clearly said, we have different types of abuse. We have emotional, we have mental, we have physical. And the sad thing is people go through emotional abuse every day and we don't see because maybe the wounds are not on their physical body.
Yeah.
But it has damaged what goes on inside. So I would want us to talk about the forms of abuse and how one can identify it if maybe someone is going through it. I mean, for you.
We are all emotional beings, and we may have our preferences to an extent. There may be the situation where
You can use an example if
you may be going through physical. Physical is obvious, we all know. But emotional and mental.
Physical is obvious when a man or a human being hits another human.
Thank you for making it general, not a man.
Yeah.
But I mean, those ones, you know, someone is applying a force, you don't like it and all that.
Yes.
But the physical, the psychological or emotional, I may be doing something that may be hurting you.
Yes.
I may not know
Yeah.
unless you call out that someone should help or you call for help. nobody may know. So the physical may be when you mentally may not be in agreement with another person in any kind of opinion. I may not be so clear, but unless you make it known to the other person that you are suffering from what they are doing or what decision they are taking or actions, the person may not know, and you can't blame the person.
But you can agree with me that we have very manipulative people who know that this thing they are doing
Some
is
may not
getting
know. Let's
to
give
you.
them that
But
benefit
then
of the doubt.
we can't always go ahead and be giving people benefits of the doubt. They need to realize that what they do hurts.
You know the most common emotional abuse?
Tell me.
A guy will be chasing a lady and the lady will be stretching the guy. Very abusive.
Adubia, yes. So the forms of abuse, I mean mental, emotional, psychological,
So let me give an example of...
even verbal abuse.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Let me give an example of
Sure.
emotional abuse. So let me use two people being in a relationship, okay? And it's like, or typically marriage. So the woman or the man tries to do everything in his power to please his wife.
Or even his girlfriend.
Yes, you know, and it looks like it's not seen. So it's like anything I do
don't
Appreciated.
exactly.
But you agree with me that women, I mean, we've been on the men for a while, but women are champions on verbal abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yes.
sometimes that is what triggers the physical abuse.
Yes.
Because she can be in front of you, address you,
Yes.
make you feel so little,
Yes.
and then it is not right, but they
Yes.
are pushed
I
to
agree.
exert force on
I agree.
on the woman.
I agree. And that's
Yeah.
why I think Richard said sometimes we need to know the cause
Yeah.
of the abuse,
Definitely,
because I know men to be some sort of, for lack of words, creatures that you can't just say anything to them and go scot-free,
Some men.
you know.
Thank you.
Okay.
Defender of men's
That's
rights.
why I said,
Thank
that's why I
you.
said for lack of words.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this ego that they have, you just telling them, you know.
Oh, but anyway.
No, but it's just an example, you know.
right.
See,
And
if
I
he's
said-
in front of you and now he strikes.
And you have children, and
Yeah.
you are telling your husband, yeah, TB.
Yeah,
It's very disrespectful
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
you know, children pick a lot of things from
Yeah.
their parents.
Definitely.
So you see the child growing up to become what the mother exhibits or the father exhibits at
At
home.
home.
Yes. So sometimes emotionally it can cause problems and abuse to
Either
the
party.
human being.
Yeah.
either
Yeah.
party.
So, Samuel, any example on any form of abuse you know of, you've encountered, you've heard of, anything?
Okay, so before that, this is what I would say. You agree that abuse is abuse.
Yes.
There isn't any measure as to whether physical abuse
It's
is
greater.
greater than,
Sure.
you know, abuse is abuse. It is, I think it is, one person may like, if we are going in this standards, one person may like to be physically abused more than emotionally. Maybe emotionally he or she can't take it, but if it's you beat me and then
No, me, I've heard some
That's true.
relationships where after the beating, that's where the love becomes very intense.
you know?
See, that is why
That's like a horror
I was
movie.
thinking it is a manipulative way of trying to get someone to feel something. And right after they feel that way, you come in with another way of getting them not to feel like that anymore.
Yes.
It's a very serious problem.
Salami
And if you are
tactics.
playing with a person's mind, that goes a long way. That I even feel like emotional abuse is deeper because we can't see to help.
Yeah. And
I
a
mean,
lot of- a
physical,
lot of
somebody can
people
see
are-
and ask what is going on and they can offer help. But if I'm here, I don't tell you I'm going through something. I go to my room, I cry. You can't offer me help.
The pillows
So-
are suffering. eh?
The pillows are suffering. The pillows are
suffering,
suffering.
yeah.
But then looking at our story, it brings us to premarital sex.
Yeah.
Belinda has a child with Eric outside marriage. And she's still living with Eric outside marriage. So you can see that it is a problem. I mean, what is premarital sex first of all?
I remember my Jesus RME We had something on premarital sex. So when you do the thing before the thing, that's premarital sex. That
What is premarital sex?
when the thing is done before the thing, you know.
When you have sex outside of marriage.
Before marriage,
Before marriage.
Yeah, outside marriage
It could
is
be adultery, I
yeah.
get you.
So before marriage,
marriage.
and I record though, like it's going on.
Yeah, it's
going on.
Yeah.
I think the culture has been so, should I say, degenerated. No, let me not go that way. But I guess we see a lot on telly these days. The foreign culture has taken a lot of toll on us that you may not think of even a relationship, but you feel like having sex with someone. And it's easy now than probably when I was a kid. Maybe because I was
Do you know what they call it? Casual sex.
Okay.
We are having casual sex.
Yeah, nobody feel
Let's
like
hook up. That's another
that thing some.
Yes, so yeah.
It's going on and it's unfortunate. I guess we need a reorientation. Maybe from childhood we should know what is right and be indoctrinated in some of the concepts, principles of God's word. To get your children right, I think it takes the grace of God to do it. Yeah,
I agree.
It's not easy.
Yes, Adubia. Premarital sex. What? I can see that your face says it all, but please let us know.
Okay, so he said during the do before the do, or I don't know how he said it, but it's per my understanding, it's like engaging in sex with a man or a woman before tying the knot.
Right, you're definitely right.
But if you tie the knots,
Like you
eventually.
said, pre. So if you haven't tied the knot, you mean it's pre. So having children, having children with a man before marriage, from a Christian's perspective.
That's where I really wanted to base this thing on. I don't think it's the right thing to do. First of all, it is morally wrong, ethically wrong to do that. Even if the person has promised you heaven, please don't do it. Irrespective of what you see, you can be praying with the person every day and all that, but please don't do that.
Brother man.
Why?
Okay, we've not gone into the story.
Why should it? I mean, it's a build-up.
Yeah.
Relax, we'll get there.
Okay, so that's to some.
So yeah, you shouldn't do that. I mean, why should you? Even if you have plans of getting married, and things can change. You're not dealing with an angel. That's what you have to get. So I don't think it's right in any sense. What really makes it worse now is that, unlike the Western world, it is much worse there than in Africa. Sometimes our cultural values may prevent people from doing that more.
I feel like it's a Christian upbringing. It's been hammered.
Yes, and then I think the culture too pays, because you
will.
have to go through this
Frowns on it,
puberty, those
definitely,
things.
yeah.
If you don't have, that kind of thing. So it's bad. It's bad. Nobody should just get into that.
Yes. So yeah, you obviously had a lot on your mind. Please share.
Yeah, I think so. Culture, society, we have a lot of people doing investment in people's life.
Investment.
And they say one good thing deserves another. In Tree, they say, Obi your papa know how. You are investing in the kid's school fees, things that he needs, nursing training college or nursing degree, whichever. None of them is cheaper.
True.
And Eric has been investing, and one thing led to the other, and proximity comes in, and so if there is this tree adage that as you advise the cats, you had also advised the salted fish so that they don't come closer. As you are telling Belinda not to be doing that, probably if the guys don't think they've invested a lot, maybe some of these things will be. But as long as people are pushing for 5 years, paying for your fees and all that, you feel indebted. So I wouldn't blame Belinda a lot, but she feel like she owes him something.
I can
and
see
then-
you have a lot of opinion. We are going to go into that, but right after the break, right? Just be
Noted.
So I'll come to you and then you give me all your points. Let's go for a quick commercial break. Please remember to send me your messages and I'll do my best to read them. It's Real Talk. Welcome back from the commercial break. Please remember to send me your messages and I'll read them. So Adobia, before we went on the commercial break, Opoku was talking about investment, a man investing in a woman, and so because of that, he needs benefits. And I mean, as an investment banker, you obviously have a vast knowledge on this topic. So are you forever indebted to somebody who invests in you in a relationship regarding money, time?
I'll say no.
You are not forever. Okay,
So let's go back to the story.
definitely.
Eric invests in Belinda. Paying school fees, probably buying clothes, whatsoever.
And the other things.
Exactly.
Always and.
In return, what is she given? They're not married, but she's having sex with him.
Oh,
And
they've
they-
done knocking.
Knocking is not marriage.
He's serious, at least.
It's
Knocking
not marriage.
is not
For how many years?
5 years.
5
years,
years.
yeah.
Knocking.
Well,
Knocking.
she
5
just
years.
completed school, I guess.
It doesn't
so-
matter.
Yes. If you
Since-
can have a child.
Yes.
But Adobia, let me take it. I don't. I want to. Yes.
Because both of them are enjoying themselves. So
Exactly.
if we go back to investment, you come to me and tell me, Adobe, I've got like 1,000 cities I want to invest for 3 months, 6 months. I tell you, okay, because I'm going to use your money to work, I'm going to sell your money at this rate, and then I'll give you this rate. It means you're enjoying the rate.
Yes. Yes.
So coming back to Eric and Belinda, he decided
Yes.
to pay school fees.
Yes.
She decided to give him her body.
Yeah.
And out of it, they got a baby out of it.
Out of it.
So it's beneficial to both of
So
them.
she's not indebted to him in
At
any way.
all.
Yeah.
Hand go, hand come.
Thank you. Samuel.
investment. So we invest.
It's a couple or a partner indebted to the other for investing in her.
I don't think
Okay.
so. I don't think so. Because this is a human being.
Yeah.
Yeah, investing in human being to get what? To get life or what? After sex, what's next? I mean, what are you investing in? So I don't think anybody is indebted to anybody.
The tangent you are going.
No, the only person you should be indebted is to God. That's the only person.
But let's be very practical. So Samuel, you have a girlfriend.
No.
No, I'm just saying. In this situation, you have a girlfriend.
Okay.
You have a girlfriend.
He's running.
You have invested in her for 5 years. You've taken her to school. She now has a degree in nursing. She's earning. Your job is not stable. Taking care of the family, the kid you have. Now she's making money. Your job is not stable. How would you feel having spent so much on her?
So having spent so much on her,
And
what-
all of a sudden she wants to go.
my
because
question is,
you are beating her.
what am I expecting from her? Is it? I mean,
So, 5 years ago, if he had invested in Treasury bill, by now he's gotten multiples.
it's
The multiples is the child.
Yeah, so that is a good side of it. You know, people people are generous towards people for the good of society. That's fine. But where we are going, it feels like if I have money, I should rather go and put it in the bank.
No,
You choose to.
let me come in a bit. He said people are generous. Come again.
Towards people in the society that we are in, I'm sure
But these
that's what
people
I
are
said.
dating. It's not just
You met someone on the
exactly
way.
like a Father Christmas thing.
Well,
They are in a relationship.
and
Wakoya knocking.
you see,
So he's actually proven to the girl that I'm capable of taking care of you. And that's what he was doing.
Yeah, was taking care of
So
her.
so okay. So
what's
after
the
paying,
deal here?
Sorry, but after paying all those school fees and all those things. These things can be quantified in monetary terms.
Yes.
So the lady should pay him off.
If that is what you call the investment,
Lord have mercy.
Well,
that is what that's
Because
my
if,
take.
I think we need to dive deep a bit.
yes,
You know.
true. It's monetary terms, but did he have to have sex with her? I mean, I've invested in you. You're going to school, and now I
You know
want to
that
do
that
thing.
line is not supposed to be crossed. That we all agree.
Yeah.
But as I said, the inclination is there as money changes, exchanges of money, proximity, and all that. You feel like, so for 5 years, dating someone for 5 years, the inclination is there, but it's not right to do. That's
to do
we
that.
shouldn't approve of.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes me think of spending on people when you're in a relationship. I mean, taking out your money, deciding to pay for school fees, deciding to buy her clothes, or him. Now the women are also doing it.
Yeah, it's helping.
To do that. In general, spending money on the person you are in a relationship with, is that advisable?
No, it's not.
You don't think it's advisable?
No, I don't think so.
So
No,
what
I
should be
get-
allowed in a relationship then? I mean,
I think it's good. You know, we are looking at developing ourselves for marriage. And at best, as we say, not all fingers are of same height and all that. If you care for the other party and you're looking at, so I'm going to get married to someone, an SS liver, there is no money at home, so she's not schooled, as in continued her education. I have the resources. And I want to marry someone who be forever like a wife. Investing in people to an extent is good because you are looking for a life partner that at best you should be looking at developing each other. So if I have, you don't have, and I hope, like all relationships are expected to end, I hope that you eventually become my wife and I'm pushing money into whatever venture that you are in. I think it's a good thing. After all, as we are seeing in this story, the Eric's work is not stable, and the wife to be, if they were married, the wife is generating something from the schooling that Eric invested in. That so it's not a bad thing to invest in the other party.
but should you expect something out of it? I don't know.
Yes.
But was Eric expecting something from Belinda?
It looks like after he had invested money into her.
In
and
this
now
story, I
his job
think
is
it's
not-
Belinda that feels indebted to Eric.
Yeah.
Because he has spent on her,
Yeah.
and now his job is not stable, and she wants to leave because he's abusing her physically.
Exactly.
And so she wants to leave.
Yeah.
And so right now, she can't leave because she feels Eric has invested. So should Eric have, or should he have not, and should she have accepted, or is there any, I mean, what should she give him in return? And what is Eric expecting? Because I feel like Belinda can't leave because Eric is expecting her to be there in the difficult
Don't blame
moments.
Eric here. Belinda thinks,
Okay, Eric.
yeah, probably will be expecting.
But
her
if
to
Eric
stay.
doesn't want her to stay, why does he cry and apologize?
That is
after
love.
everything?
No, it's not love.
And
That's not
told
love.
her,
It's not love.
What is it
I
then?
want you
Love
to
for
stay
us.
and all that.
It doesn't destroy.
You don't beat your girlfriend or your wife out of what?
Or husband. The women, some of the women are beating.
Yeah.
Trust
Out
me,
of
I
what?
think
Out of
2016
love.
there were about 6,000 people.
You would know this. Opoku, you would know.
I read well.
You would know. Yes. So you are saying it's love. He cries because it's love.
I mentioned earlier, Eric may need help regarding, it could be a psychological issue. As I said, that disorder of sadistic behavior and all that. It could be that Eric is not enjoying it, but it happens. Probably it's triggered as he doesn't have money. And frustration comes in and, you know, by any trigger, you are hitting on someone because there isn't money. So Eric may need help, but he doesn't want Belinda to go because he loves her. He wouldn't be investing a lot of money 5 years down the line because he doesn't love her. He loves her. So Eric may need help. I think
Do
so.
you think he loves Belinda?
I don't think so. Because if you love someone, you won't hurt the person. Most especially when she keeps complaining and talking about the same old thing, and he rather gets upset
Yes.
at the end of the day.
Yes.
It means he's not remorseful, because you
She comes to
cry,
beg,
you
yeah.
cry, you beg, and then the next moment you're hitting her again.
Again, for complaining about something that
That's
you
he
did
did.
wrong. So in this quest, I don't think she went to insult him. She went
No,
to
no, no.
he did something and she didn't like it,
Yeah.
and he beat her. So Samuel, I mean, is this love?
I don't think it's love.
This would be cool. This be love as one and two.
I don't think it's love. I think the issue is that the consistency of that same thing makes it worse.
After he lost his job.
About he's onto something about. I mean, when you keep repeating something and you
Yes.
come back to say, "I am sorry," it loses its value. I
Yeah,
mean,
the consistency of it makes it worse. If you did it for the first time and you ask for forgiveness, I mean, as Christians, when we commit sin and we ask for forgiveness, God forgives us.
Thank you.
Okay, that is
How
God.
many times? 77 times.
No, but that is God.
You want the woman to
that
die?
is God. Yes.
That-
She won't die. She's not
Out
taking
of-
this to the
out
police
of-
station.
out
That
of
is not
my
even
business.
serious.
Hold
the
on.
human aspect of us sometimes we can't take that as any, but Christ tells us that we should try and do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now you do this for the first time. You come and ask for forgiveness. I forgive you. Then if it's a different thing, then that's a different thing altogether. But then you keep repeating the same thing. Ask for forgiveness. For how long can I go?
And
For how long can I
you're
go?
saying love. Is love the only thing we need in a relationship?
Yeah.
You need somebody that respects you. You need somebody that wouldn't be hitting you back forth. You need somebody that is like forgiving, yes, and somebody that is also repentant.
Exactly.
So, Opoku, I'm not getting you. I can't see what you're talking
Well,
about.
this guy, I feel for him though, because
More than Belinda?
Why do you
I
feel for
guess
him?
so.
Is it
More than
because
Belinda.
he lost his job?
There may be a lot of factors that maybe is
But is he not
touching on his
supposed to be
mind
grateful
for
Belinda taking up the role?
for the investment
To
that
take
he's
care-
made that has matured
No.
and is taking care
No,
of him,
no. For Belinda taking up the role, his role,
which is the
because-
investment he made and is
No,
matured.
no, not that. Which
I think
what
I'll
I'm-
side with Opoku there.
what no, see, this is what I'm trying to say, that he's lost his job.
But he has
Fine.
foresight.
Fine, he invested in her,
Yes.
and it has yielded.
Yes.
That same money that has yielded, she's using it to take care of his child and he himself.
Yes, because now, right now,
Because
she
she is the one taking care of the
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, so she's taking care of the family. Her only concern is
Is
that
the Why
beating?
Eric
on top?
is beating her.
The frustration.
Frustration would make you beat your girlfriend or your wife.
The mother of your child.
Then it goes down to
In the
zero.
story,
He needs help. I agree. He needs help. Belinda shouldn't leave.
But
he needs help.
It's
She
Belinda
should
that
leave.
can help
No,
Eric.
She
here.
should leave. Because if she stays there, she will
I
die.
think I have a question for all of us. In the
Yes.
story, was there any attitudinal something that Belinda keeps exhibiting?
No.
It wasn't, we didn't see that in the story,
No.
but this
Okay.
story is from Belinda.
Exactly.
so
We may not
we
have the full
to-
picture.
Yeah, but she
But
But
still,
under no circumstance would you have to be beating somebody else.
No,
Yes,
we have in our
exactly.
society, you know, guys are breadwinners and all that. If the
Yeah.
table is turned and these ladies, I may not be very sure about this situation, but there is an ego from the lady's side taking care of
Ego.
the family. It may be there. It may be there. We don't have the full
might
story.
not be there.
Probably,
It might not be
yeah,
there.
probably. Eric is holding a lot of things, and
So Opoku,
By a
let
snap.
me ask you this question. What if when Eric was giving Belinda all those times and Belinda was beating Eric, what would you have said?
so Belinda can be Eric.
you just said something.
That's
let me
happens.
take some
That is my money. I'll just withdraw it.
some few messages from our viewers out there. This is from Abina from Santa Maria. A woman bitter for her husband. I won't stay for 1 more hour. She needs to cut her losses and move on. Sharp, sharp. Thank you, Abina, for sending in your message. This is also from JJ. JJ is from Cape Coast. JJ says, some women deserve to be put in their place. She's
Thank you.
probably exaggerating and is looking for attention. JJ, we hear you. Thank you. I have another one from Kweku, who is from Malam. Kweku says, I feel for the lady, Belinda. But what could be causing him to beat her? It may be something he saw growing up, and if she stays, her child could also learn from the father. She needs to break the cycle. So, like you mentioned, things that happen, learned experiences, and how we end up copying and exhibiting in our future lives. We will continue discussing this particular topic. As we can see, it's a very interesting one. But let's go for a commercial break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Real Talk, right here on Hope Channel, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So before we went on the commercial break, we were discussing our story of Eric and Belinda, who have been together for 5 years with a child. They are not married, and Eric invested in Belinda to take her to school, and now she has a degree in nursing. And Belinda complains that Eric beats her at the least or no provocation at all. And so she is wondering what to do in this particular situation. I have with me my fine guests who are still helping me to talk about the story. Let's go right into it and talk about what to do when you are in an abusive relationship. What can one do in an abusive relationship? Adobia.
Let me just cite an example.
Right.
I think way back in school, I had a girlfriend. I mean, we were actually a group of friends, and some of them decided to date other boys
Okay.
at the hostel. So there was this friend of mine that she was actually my roommate. So when she gets up, the boys were at the top
Floor.
Yeah, top floor. So when she wakes up, then she'll climb the stairs, to the top there. She'll come back late. Sometimes she would have to steal my food and go and give to the boy.
Such a generous heart.
Yes. So there was a time we were all chatting, and then she would go like, Dubia, do you know so and so beats me? I'm like, how? He's not married you? He doesn't give you money to cook.
Yes.
You steal from me.
Yes.
And you prepare food for him to eat.
Yes.
And on top of it, he beats you. I mean, what are you doing?
Love.
No, this can't be love.
This
This can never be love. If you love someone, I keep saying this thing, if you love someone, you never lay a finger on that person.
You wouldn't want to hurt them.
At all.
Intentionally.
At all. Because I could tell that she was doing all she could for the guy. But there were times that he would hit her.
Would he come and cry and apologize, like in this?
For that, well, she never spoke about it, but I'm guessing he does, because the next moment you see them together. So I told her a couple of times. I mean, me plus the other girls advised her a couple of times to just stay away. But when we realized that our friend had not made up her mind to stay away, we just left the issue. But we made her know that if she doesn't take care, it would affect her.
Yeah.
And it's not affected her
Psychologically.
yet, right?
Ask me where she is.
Please tell us.
No.
I understood. Yeah, so look at this situation. What should one do in an abusive relationship?
Flee.
Flee.
Yes.
But first, I think before you flee, I have to try and help them.
Thank you, boss.
it's
Find out the
in a
issue.
way.
let the person
Seek help.
yes, himself. First of all, the person should be able to know himself that I have a problem. Because, let's go back to the story. She kept advising the guy. She kept telling him that, okay, you are doing this, I don't want it, I'm not comfortable with it. And then he kept beating her. So then it means that he probably doesn't care, or he doesn't see anything wrong with it. But you should be able
If
to
he comes
find...
to apologize, that means at least he knows
But he
what
goes
he's doing.
back. If he goes back, then it means...
not repentant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think
So he should be able to seek help for himself.
Yes.
But for the lady, every lady who goes through any abusive relation, for me, I say flee, run away.
Okay, you were saying she should help him.
she should help in a sense that
But can she help him outside of the relationship?
Yes, it's
She's not
possible.
even
Ready-
in there.
Does it look
trying
like
to
he
help
wants
him,
to
and
be
then
helped?
he would beat her and kill her.
okay.
He doesn't want to be helped.
For Adubia, for that we can't say.
Yes, we can say, because you see that the point is, if you do something, it's just like you catch a criminal on the streets. Somebody who says,
Yeah.
so he should be what? He should be jailed or
Yeah.
he should be locked up or something.
Yeah.
Because indeed, the next moment, he's gone back to steal.
So the jail,
Because
the jail
the
is like
core
the.
of
Let
the
me- let me-
issue.
I think the jail is
I'll come
like
to you.
in as much as like a punishment for what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You're helping him not to go back.
It will keep him away from the streets also, from hurting other people.
Yeah.
Come on,
the
that's-
problem is not solved because
I think when he comes back from the jail, there's a possibility that he can't do that.
Even
he wouldn't
worse.
do that because
There's a
you
possibility
know
they
he'll go back
always do.
7 years.
So
So
you're
every 7 years, you want to be 7 years. I mean,
They
So
always
yeah,
do.
Belinda, you were saying Belinda should help Eric
yes.
in the relationship.
In
While
or
he
out
was
the
beating
relationship.
her.
In or
She
out.
can only help him when he's probably married her. Then she'll know that it's like something like forever.
Even that
No, but then
one
one thing we have to one thing we have to watch is that it is Belinda who suffers the abuse.
Yes.
It is not anybody else from
Exactly.
anywhere. So if you flee and then without helping him or her, this guy can go. Whoever
That one is her
everything-
back case. Then whichever lady that comes back again should
Should
also flee.
you know something interesting. Belinda is actually seeking for marriage.
Yeah.
From
Yes,
the-
yes, from the story. Yeah.
Belinda loves Eric to
Yes.
the core.
Would you die for love?
Because Belinda,
that's
if
what
you
Jesus
remember-
Christ did.
If you remember, Belinda
Jesus
said
died
she-
for us.
See, I get that Jesus Christ love thing. I understand
even
that
Jesus,
one.
even
But
Jesus,
did
at the
Jesus,
point on the cross,
Uh-huh.
he didn't want to go through it.
did Jesus
He didn't
even
want to
lift
go
a
through
finger?
it.
And here we sit. We can ask her for
But
forgiveness.
Jesus is a perfect
So-
human being. You cannot sit here and compare Eric.
We are trying to
and
be as
Jesus.
perfect as Jesus.
We are trying to.
Yeah,
But
and he
sin
will
is
give
not
us
making
the,
us-
you know, Belinda
Yes.
prays every morning that God give me strength.
She didn't
to
say
live
that
with
though.
Eric.
She didn't say that.
I can imagine
Maybe she prays,
every
God,
morning.
help me, give me strength to run away from this
Exactly.
wife.
No,
Human bitter.
Belinda wants marriage. See,
Well, I can
Yeah.
side
Should you
with that
kill
part
yourself for
because
marriage?
If you remember in the story, Belinda says she's 26 with a child. Who would marry her?
Oh, she will get somebody to marry.
sure?
That's for that one.
She will get.
26,
The way he
she's
said, there
very
are
young.
plenty
Yeah.
women out. There
Yeah.
are plenty men
Men
out
out
there.
there.
with the baby, oh,
yes.
like a school bag.
Yes. Yes, she
Somebody
would
still-
get
somebody still
somebody.
gets her.
Obogu,
Exactly.
it's funny. Obogu, you just, I mean, last week, if I remember correctly, you told me that people will want to know if you can have kids.
Yeah, that
So
is.
men will
Another
want to
man
know
will
This
if
one
you
is a
can
school bag
have
is
kids.
with you, behind you,
Yes.
everywhere
Whether
you
it's
go.
behind in front, it's a proof
But
that you can have
that
kids.
aside, I
Yes.
think Belinda thinks she can help Eric.
No,
She doesn't think.
she's asking us
feels-
what to
yes,
do.
She feels like when she leaves Eric, she might not get anybody. So she's cornered. She feels cornered. But in actual sense, she is not cornered.
She's not.
She's 26.
Very
with
young.
one child.
Just one.
With the
She'll
man, you have to
continue
be
stay with
grateful
Eric.
for.
She will continue. I think even talking about paying
The fees and all that.
paying Eric. Eric has beaten Belinda on their ticker. Anyway,
Mom.
talk. So coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
For
yeah.
every day that Belinda will go to the hospital as a nurse, the thought is in my will
Yes.
be in her head
that.
a generous man took care of me.
And after my nursing degree, I was the one taking care of this generous man.
It's not enough.
We both
It's not
began-
enough.
No.
So because of in school investment, she should kill herself.
Eric will get a work, oh, definitely.
And also get a husband.
We all
Definitely.
pray for that.
Definitely. But then
Obuku mentioned something. We the first thing that you have to get is that this is whatever they are doing there, they are not married.
true.
Yeah, I think
Most
that is
important
that
thing.
is
Exactly.
that
So she
is-
can leave
So why
anytime
should she
she wants.
stress?
They are not
Exactly.
married.
Why should she stress?
Second
not-
of
it's
second
not,
of
for
her profession.
forever.
Her
What's it-
profession.
what is
She's
the
a
vow?
nurse. You're going to deal with human beings. So when you get to the hospital and then you have patients there that you, as a nurse, you have to help them if it's a wound or something. You yourself, yeah. So how
You're
can you?
living it. How
No,
can
be
you
our
help first?
problem. Everyone has issues.
But you know, Belinda can stay in this relationship thinking Eric would marry her, ends up with a second child, and Eric hasn't even married
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Eric will marry her.
It's highly
and
possible.
it's beating
5 years.
her.
How long?
Yeah.
And it's beating her on top.
And he's
It's very
beating her on
possible.
top. One day she'll just die, team, and he will marry another woman.
Another woman. Have you thought
That is
about
after
that?
death.
So she should die.
No, this I guess the violence. It may not even be serious. Probably a hit on,
Oh, come on.
the forehead
Really?
or something. And she's just
Really?
blowing up like
Emotionally.
that.
If that's emotional abuse. That is emotional
No,
abuse.
you are taking this outside what we know.
You are
we are
taking.
not.
You are not taking it
No,
outside
no, no,
enough.
no, no, no,
But what is the worst that can happen in this situation for Belinda?
She will die. Oh. Tim.
And for Eric, what's the worst that can happen to him?
You might.
The best that can happen to both of them is Eric seeks for help,
Because that's the best.
gets it, and then they live.
Happily ever.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
But what is the worst
The
that
worst.
can happen?
It won't happen. It won't happen.
It will.
What's the worst that can
It
happen?
won't happen.
It won't.
It's when Belinda chooses to move out.
That's the worst that can happen to
Yeah.
I feel like that's the
That would be the
best
best.
thing that
And no,
can ever
in
happen to him.
Belinda will forever feel guilty, indebted,
But
and
Eric should be feeling guilty for beating a woman who has his child.
no, you're taking the side of ladies.
I'm taking the side of the story, the right side of the story. Somebody is beating somebody. Should the person continue beating the person? No. What should the person do interim seeking for help?
Exactly.
Leave.
Leave, and who will take care of it?
What's
You
the
should take care of
himself?
nurses are, you know, they
should
have,
take
they
care of
have that,
himself.
they are developed to have
Eric
that
is
heart
not
for their
patient of-
I think
patients.
Belinda.
before in this world, before you would find solution for anything, you the person have to see it as a problem.
Yes.
Eric is not. It doesn't look like Eric is seeing this as a problem. Who suffers it? It's Belinda. Okay, one may say that Eric is suffering in a way. That's why he's doing that. But first, you have to see that thing as a problem. Now, Eric is not seeing this thing as a problem. Belinda can flee out of this seemingly by force marriage, which is not marriage, it's only knocking, which in our culture is nothing.
Yes. Yes.
It's something. This is a guy who is paid
Knocking.
for. But if the parents of Belinda know Belinda was in school and they are not paying school fees, where were they thinking the money was coming from?
True. You have a point that
Yeah.
the parents weren't taking care of Belinda. Yes. Agreed.
Have you
But
thought of
Eric
why Belinda probably hasn't spoken to their parents, her parents about
maybe get
this?
dead?
Yeah, I think so.
I just
I
say.
think
Well,
I think
you
so.
can say so.
Maybe
So
get
I
dead.
think Eric should see it as a problem. Belinda can flee first of all,
Yeah.
or can be in it
Maybe
to help
if
Eric
Belinda
in a way.
flees, Eric will now
realize.
realize.
Yeah,
So what's the worst? I'm still the worst that can happen to Belinda in this
She's-
abusive relationship.
it looks like she's going to die.
She's going to die,
Yeah.
right? And I
It's
feel
so
like
sad
the
to say that,
worst
but I
that
feel
can
she's
happen
going
to
to die.
Eric is he'll be arrested.
Yeah,
Because we have laws protecting women.
Yes.
You don't get up and
Protecting
beat women.
everyone.
Yes, true, but in this case, we have laws specifically protecting women from abusive partners. So if he continues beating her, punching her like a punching bag, he'll be arrested.
It's very mild, I can assume. Because
I hope so.
if it is...
Even if it is mild, the fact that she's complaining about it should let him know that she's going through emotional.
And the fact that he can't
Stress.
apologizing. Anyway, I would want your last take, one word. What should she do?
For me, I think she should still flee. She should run away from any abusive person she comes across.
Yeah. Yeah, use this as a learning curve and
Yes.
run away and
Yes.
flee.
Belinda
What
should
should she do?
advise or should speak to Eric so that Eric will do the right thing to formalize their marriage.
She's been
And
talking
then-
about that for
5 years.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
It can happen. Maybe he doesn't have the money. You know, he's not been working. And, you know, where is he going to
He
get
should
the
have
money
done
for
that. He should have done that in the first year.
No, she was in school.
When did he have the money? When
She
he
was in
was paying
school.
all those
Okay,
school
let me
fees.
hear your last words. What should she do?
She should push Eric for the marriage to be formalized. And then from there, try to help Eric go through this. You don't
not
know
answered the question.
what great person. So stay, continue to
She
stay.
should stay in the
and then
abusive,
rehabilitate.
in the abusive relationship. I just want to get that
Relationship,
clear. She should stay in the
In the
abusive
abusive
relationship.
She should stay in the relationship,
The abusive
formalize it, and then get help.
Formalize the
continue
abusive
to-
relationship.
he would continue to
Now it's a
abuse her.
formalized beating relationship. Somehow.
I think the consistency of this abuse, if this has been continuing for 5 years,
No. It just started last year.
No,
You would know.
When he lost his work.
You would know someone
even
else. What should she do?
even if it is a month, what shows that we can't go to the second month, third month, and all
And
that.
the fourth month.
As a Christian and as a brother or anything, Charlie, he has to leave. She has to leave. Otherwise, she's going to die. I think
It's been yet again another interesting discussion. You guys are amazing. Do I tell you guys often? You guys are amazing. I mean, Opoku may not agree from time to time, but you are
It's
an
unfortunate
amazing
we think
opposition.
on opposite sides.
Amazing opposition. I thank you. Thank you guys so much for
You're
coming.
welcome. Most welcome.
Thank you for making this particular discussion a very interesting one. Let me take some few messages from my viewers. We have this from Daniel. Daniel is from Kanda. Daniel says, I am a man, but definitely I am not in support of this. Eric should be reported and arrested immediately.
Yeah.
Simple.
So we have Maria from Kumasi. Maria says, why live with him to even give him the chance to beat you? She should move in with her parents. Maybe pulling away by moving out could help bring him back to his senses. We have Michael from Kaswa. Michael says, if she lives with me, it is implied that I can do with her what a married man would do with his wife. To avoid the sex and the baby, she should have just stayed with her parents. Thank you, Michael. But then a married man is not supposed to be beating his wife, so it's not implied that he can do whatever he wants to do with her if he married her. So the last one is from Rita. Rita is messaging me from Techiman. Rita says, could it be that his job going bad is why he is beating Belinda?
Still doesn't guarantee.
She should help him work on it if she still loves him
Thank
and
you.
wants to keep the relationship
This is
going.
the last comment.
Rita,
Connect.
No, she can still leave and help him.
I can
still leave and help him.
If we keep talking about this, we'll go on
still
and
leave
on and on
and help
and
him.
on.
And then mind you,
Because
there's a
it's
child too,
obvious that
so-
we
Yeah,
have
there's a child.
conflicting
Doesn't matter.
views.
As well, she'll come back.
Thank you so much for joining me on Real Talk. But please, this is for Belinda. Belinda, if you think the money you owe Eric is too much, and because you feel indebted, you want to stay, please take a loan. Pay for the amount he invested in your education and leave him. It is better to stay alive without a husband than to die and leave your child as an orphan. If he sincerely loves you, he will not raise his hand on you. He is now in a cycle of abuse and except a miracle occurs, he will not stop abusing you. Think of your future and that of your son and act wisely. May God guide you in this endeavor. Thank you so much for staying with us. Real Talk comes your way every Wednesday at 8 p.m. right here on Hope Channel. See you next week. Have a good night.